What's going on, Lego friends? It's your boy Mel. That's Corey. Welcome back to another edition of PTV.
Yes, sir.
What's going on, champ?
Bruh, it is that how you gonna ask me what's going on and you pull out the Sub-Zero joint?
Because I'm feeling very frosty today. Very frosty.
Oh man. Is this the return of the ice? This the ice box? Am I on the ice? Oh man, listen, man. You know what's worse? What's worse? I'm wearing a blue shirt. This is not coordinated.
In other words, you with the SHIT.
Listen, man, before we get started, let me look right at the camera. Before we get started, the views and opinions of Mel Brown Iceberg Bricks does not reflect Corey Samuel Sands Brago Incorporated. Listen, man, we have two different opinions on stuff, but we're gonna get into it today.
It's gonna be very frosty today.
Oh man, it feels cold, man. It feels cold, man. It's starting to get nice outside. It was 80 degrees today, man. Come on, man. We can't keep it nice. And I'm
gonna hit your boy gonna hit you off with the ice shower.
Oh, here we go. All right, man. Let's get to it.
All right. First up, where is the Lego Con? Now, I'm not talking about Lego conventions because they, one dime after another, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about in 2021, right after the pandemic, when they, everybody used to wear those diapers on their faces and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember those.
We had to. We were in Chicago, and the Lego group had a convention, but they did it virtual, and they had all kinds of crazy celebrities. It was something spectacular because it was something we'd never seen before.
Right.
Where'd it go?
That's a great question. I think during that time of the pandemic, people were trying different things, and people were trying to do different things to stay relevant.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Lego saw an opportunity to give something to the community that we were missing at the time. At the time, we were, at home. For our season, we were talking about doing a tour. Everybody was talking about, we're going to be here, we're going to be there, we're going to be doing this big tour, we're going to just, milk in this huge success of the show. We're the first season, we're going to wave our flags. And what happened? We ain't do nothing. We was at home. And I think Lego saw the opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Everybody's home. Let's show them, behind the scenes, and let's do something really cool. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I thought it was a really great idea. Lego convention. We were only supposed to be brick conventions. Every show is a brick convention, it's not a Lego sponsored show. So I was like, all right, well, if Lego's going to show us how to do it, well, let's see how we do it.
Right.
And he only did it once. I don't know. A lot could have been in that. Like, was the viewership just low? Was people not paying attention?
No, that's negative. Like, you remember when they did the countdown, and when the lights came on, who was front and center? It was Boom.
Yeah,
it was Boom. Boom was front and center.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm telling you that dude, if Blue's Clues continued on the air, that would be their next host. And so in other words, he handled that hosting job. He handled that hosting job superb. Like, he was a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe I'm crushing, right? But he was a 10 out of 10 for me. And so I think that they all the right pieces were in place. And even they invited all the Lego masters globally, right? To participate in a competition, a building competition. Amy was there. Jamie was there. Brickman was there.
Yeah.
So at that point, like, you got all these hands are on it, and you had the diversity of the Lego masters all in one room, right? And that was probably the start of, like, this thing that they call the Brick Olympics, Australia versus the USA or whatever, right? But at the same time, I felt like if they did that and everything that they did, you mix the virtual. So with the virtual thing, for the people that are in Hollywood that can't come to the event, you do the virtual settings, and you mesh that into a place where people can actually be, like New York Comic Con, San Diego Comic Con. Like, I swear that if Billy decides to have an actual Lego con in Billings, the people will flock. The
They
people
got
will flock.
scare back. That's
Yeah,
their con.
that's their con, but it doesn't have the publicized oomph to it like SDCC.
Let's keep it real. This is the icebox, right? Let's keep it
Right?
real.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Lego conventions, brick conventions, the ones that we go to, they are specialized particularly for one group of individuals, and that are AFOs. That's it. And fans of Lego.
Right.
If Lego really wanted to go all out and do a Lego con, then you have to get those celebrities from Hollywood. You need to get the people who worked on the Lego movie, the people who worked on what was it, Over the Moon and everything like that. You need to get Pharrell Williams down there. You need to get different Lego masters out there. I mean, they did a great job having the Lego masters from different countries there and doing that. But guess what? Nobody was there. It was a virtual event. And if I remember correctly, they had some issues with the connectivity. So a lot of stuff we couldn't see. A lot of stuff was there was some technical issues. Like, a lot of people tuned in. They need to do it like San Diego Comic-Con. They cannot do it to just cater to one group of people. Because I'm gonna tell y'all right now, AFOs, I love AFOs. I'm an AFO, but we kind of boring sometimes. We need that outside influence, and that's what they need to do.
Very true, my friend. Very true. And I'll leave it at that because I agree with you on this one.
Yeah. All right. Okay. All right. My man Jay-Z once said, let me see if I can remember the lyric. I seen him put it together. I watched him take it apart. Oh, man. Brickfest Live. Oh, my goodness. Brickfest Live. We talked about this last week with Brick Convention. When you said they're circling, they're doing the funnel.
Yes.
I think Brickfest Live is through the funnel, and we're starting to see the end remains filtering down that hole. Cancellations up the wazoo.
Yes.
Last year, Brickfest Live made a bold proclamation. We are going to be in two places at the same time. We are going to go to different locations same weekend. So we need more attractions. We need more vendors. Well, not vendors. We need more visual attractions to our shows because we're going to be everywhere. We're going overseas. We're going to Canada. We're going to the UK. We're going to Germany. They laid out a very, very bold spread. I was like, oh, Brickfest Live is stepping the game up while all these other people are staying regional. Global. They're trying to expand. But maybe they expanded too much, and I think the bubble just popped.
Yeah, the bubble popped.
Oh boy.
So, let's see here. Brickfest Live, Indianapolis 2025, April 19th to the 20th, canceled. Brickfest Live, Atlanta 2025, May 10th to the 11th, canceled. Brickfest Live, Des Moines, May 24th to the 25th, canceled. Brickfest Live, Cleveland, May 31st to the June 1st, canceled. May Brickfest Live, Miami. That probably would have been a good one. June 7th to the 8th, canceled. Raleigh, canceled. Columbus, canceled. San Diego, canceled. Rochester, canceled. St. Louis, canceled. Brickfest Live is canceled. It's just like you said. Jay-Z said, grand opening, grand closing. So I feel like, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not parading this through the streets of Philadelphia like when they won the Super Bowl, right? I'm not. But and it's funny because that's where the place is from. It's from Philly, right? But what I'm saying is that this is a business 101 situation, right? At
Right.
one point in time, before this gets rich scheme, right, or the Nigerian scheme,
Hmm.
this used to be one of the prominent shows, AFOL shows, right? Used to be prominent AFOL shows. You had events for AFOLs and a whole bang, right? And then Lego Masters happened, and the owner, latched on and figured out how to get money real quick and then get out.
Hmm.
Kudos to him for cashing the check and rolling, right?
Yeah.
um Whoever's left hand in the bag, I kind of feel like the AFOLs decided to judge and jury on this, right? And I say that because when yours truly was slighted and other people were slighted, when yours truly was slighted, I tooted my horn, but nobody listened. And it wasn't until other Lego masters was experienced the same thing that I was telling them about. And I would tell them about it, and they would go ahead and sign up with Brickfest Live anyway. And then they would get, the same treatment like that I just told them that they were going to get. And they come back like, woe is me. I don't feel nothing for you because I told you that that was going to happen. Even with lugs, like for instance, me and you get ready to go to a brand new convention due to the fact that this place was doing Den Lug wrong, and that's Denver, Colorado,
Mm.
and they were doing that lug wrong, and due to that, they decided to partnership with Brick Slopes. This lug partnership with Brick Slopes. Now you got Brick Slopes, Colorado. Because of that, they had to replace that.
Mm.
And so I say that to say that the power of the consumer has won on this one. This
Yeah.
place had went global, just like you said, and they pull this Ponzi scheme where they take everybody's money for the tickets, and then it's a no-show.
Yeah.
Well, we're not refunding your money. We'll just give you a ticket for when we do have a show.
And like if we were to go back in time, man, you know, me, you, and two other Lego masters,
Hmm.
we sat down and we thought about it. We said, hey, how can we make the show better? And
Hmm.
we went in there with the honest intentions of making this show, Brickfest Live, the
Hmm.
show not only for Lego masters, but for the concept of Brickfest Live. I like the shows that are interactive for kids. I like the shows that feature the local lugs. I like the show that allows different attractions
Right.
using Lego. I like those types of shows. I think those shows are more beneficial than seeing a hall full of different creations, and you're waiting to see if you get a trophy for those creations. I think those shows are great for AFOLs, but not only AFOLs go to these shows, it's the
Hmm.
general audience. I think you need an attraction that brings the general audience in. And I saw the vision that Chad once had for Brickfest Live, and we were bought into it, and I thought
Yeah.
that we can make it better, but they kind of just went a different way. They were undercutting other promotions. They
Hmm.
were getting into other places, making them sign contracts that will deny other people from coming in. And once you do that, that's you're pouring salt on the earth. You're not letting anything grow,
Yeah.
because that's bad.
Yeah. And I'm with you. Like, and like you just mentioned, you know, for the first time, like I said, for the first time, Brick Slopes, Colorado, it has been born, right? Because of this, right?
Yeah.
Now, Brick Fair has come to Philly because of this. For years, Brick Fair could not come to Philly because Brickfest Live locked them out.
Mm,
And so it made so much sense for Brick Fair to come to Philly at that expo center, but they couldn't because of the contracts that you know uh, uh, your boy Chad uh, uh, had secured Brickfest Live while he was running it.
yeah.
Here's my thing: is that I don't like bad deals. If you
Right.
tell me you gonna do something and you shake my hand and you look at me in my face and you telling me that I'm a part of whatever future or whatever you got going down, and then it's no calls, nothing happens, right? Nothing happens, and you don't split and divide, right? Everybody,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
At that point, it's a pretty much wrap for me. at that point. It's pretty much wrap for me after that. But that's my sour taste for Brickfest Live, is that the dude shook my hand, looked me in my eye, and told me a lie.
Yeah.
Tell me that, coach, tell me you're gonna cut me, or tell me I'm not gonna play today. And I'll still be a good teammate.
Yeah. Don't tell me to sit on the bench and don't worry. I'm gonna bring you in. I'm gonna bring you in the game. I'm gonna bring you in the game. You ain't never hear your number called. Like, nah.
That's bad. That's bad business, man. It's bad business.
I know we got more to talk about this, but we're gonna have to move on.
We're gonna move on. We're moving on. So next up, it's going to be Lego Masters and conventions, with what we just talked about and everything that's going on. A lot of these conventions have cashed out on Lego Masters. Yeah. And I bet you that they're probably pretty much done paying the bill. Paying the bill meaning paying for your flight, your hotel, your registration to the event. What do you think?
There was once a time where I felt that the word of the name Lego Master brought more people into the door. We've seen it firsthand. But we saw it very early on when we were the only season in town. Season 2 came in. We still saw that buzz. Season 3 came in, kind of mellowed out. Season 4 came in, got watered down. Yeah. Now we're at season 5, which hasn't aired yet. And I think the Lego Master experience, I think people are kind of worn out of the experience. Yeah. Meaning they're able to reach out to us on social media. We're posting. Some of us are part of the land, so we're constantly putting out content. Lego Masters is becoming, I don't want to say we're becoming an afterthought, but in this climate of our world, influencers, that's who got the power right now.
Right.
They have more reach than a TV show. TV show only reaches a certain amount of people, while influencers, they're able to reach out to millions of people on a daily basis.
Yep.
I got to tell people, hey, you want to see my season, you have to go to Hulu. I don't have Hulu. Okay, you got to go to the Fox network. I don't got Fox. Okay, you got to watch it on TV.
That app is
I
gone.
Got cable.
That Fox app is gone.
Yeah, like I'll be like, you can find us on YouTube. What I got to type in? Oh man,
just forget about it.
Well, while if I'm someone like Ethan, right? Ethan, I could be on TikTok and I can put out a video and I already reached 500,000 people.
Yep.
So the reach is no longer there for Lego Masters. So now it's all about which Lego Masters would work well in your market.
Yeah.
And that's where it has to draw the line, because someone like you, Mel, you could go to different markets and people are going to recognize you because A, you was on Lego Master, B, you had a really good or still have a really good YouTube channel. So people they see you from there. Yeah. Me, I could kind of go to different places. Yeah, I won, but it's still like I gotta try my best to be visual or visible and stuff like that. But like, let's say you have a team that was eliminated very early on in one of the Lego Master seasons and haven't been on social media as active. People done forgot about them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you was on the show. It's no longer a big deal.
Big deal. Yeah.
So the conventions are starting to notice that. And that's why I think some conventions, they do value a Lego Master being present, but it's not you signing autographs and stuff like that. You got to do a little bit more. You got to interact more. That's why me and Tacos, we're with Brick Fan Expo, but when we go there, the people are getting an experience. They're learning. We're doing our STEM stuff, so they're getting a little bit more from just meeting 2 Lego Masters.
Right.
You have other conventions that's like, yeah, we don't feel like fitting the bill anymore because y'all ain't bringing enough people in the door anymore. Y'all old news.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And like you said, the public interactions, everything, like doing more than just signing and going down memory lanes with the shows and stuff like that. With like even at one point, with my short stint with Brick Convention, he had me do some buildable exercises with a couple of audience, and that was a big hit. It was a real big hit. That was a great idea. Sure. And it gives people that Lego Masters experience with the Lego Master, right? That's something we were trying to do with Brickfest Live, right? Like have that one-on-one personal experience with the Lego Master, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, I think that at this point, but you know what? I got to tell you, Corey, I'm not mad one bit about it because it's the A-fall in me that is excited because here's the thing. I'm a Lego master, but I'll be a Lego master back in Bricks Cascade that when Lego Masters had break, but you know, I was there to see the A-falls. The folks were there to see the Lego Masters, but I was there to see the A-falls, and I'm glad that the A-fall is taking the show back over because that's where the show belongs. It belongs with the love of the A-fall.
Right. Right. I get that, man. But man, I'm gonna tell you, like I tell every Lego master, the minute you stepped on that stage, you're A-fall, yes, but you're a Lego master first. And everybody's always gonna see you as a Lego master. But you might be right. A-falls are taking over. We may need to change the show to A-fall master.
A-fall master.
All right, folks, we're getting into the next topic. The next topic is a whole bunch of instigating that we're going to be doing called speculations. Now, we just want y'all to know we don't have any inside scoop. We are not sitting on the board of trustees at the Lego group. We don't get these Zoom calls and everything like that. We are just looking at the information that's presented in front of us, and we are just giving you our honest speculation. So what we're going to talk about is the Lego Art Keith Harings dancing figures, one of the most iconic pop art that has ever graced canvas. You know, as an art major, you know, I got my degree sitting right up there on that wall. As an art major, you know, I love art. I've been loving art ever since I was a kid. So the dancing figures has always been an iconic art piece. You know, you can go to the Met in New York, you can see it there. You can see it anywhere, honestly. And you know, I love the fact that Lego is dipping into the art. You know, we got the Mona Lisa, we got the sunflower from Picasso. So we're getting more into the art, and I love the fact we're getting into pop art. Pop art is where most people, I can't say most people, but I would say it's the most relevant, you know, because it's new, it's fresh. Right. So I like the fact that they're dipping into this. My only speculation is to, you know, are we going to be getting more of this, or are they just trying to throw something at the wall? They're just throwing different things at the wall and seeing what sticks.
I think this is the one you're going to get from this artist, and that's going to be it. I think with this line is that they're doing a genre of art for this Lego line, right? Because before you had the sunflowers, you had, you know, the Mona Lisa, you had a few other things prior to that, right? But this, and then you have this one here. You had the other pop art, right? Remember, like the Marilyn Monroe and the Elvis Presley and stuff like that, right? You had the one about like Ragsy was trying to take, you know, credit for it at one point, right? You remember that, right? But it's like, look, you know, that artist made that. Just because you made it in Lego don't mean you own that thing, right? Yeah, it's the chain, bro. I'm putting ice all around, baby. But I'm gonna get to my point on this right here. This will reportedly include 1,773 pieces, and it will be about $119.99 this May, right? I want to know, remember when you put the Batman mosaic together and it came with a bunch of theme songs that you could listen to? Ever since those mosaics, right? Ever since those mosaics or that line of art, they haven't put the music on with it. You see where I'm going, right? I would like the Tribe Called Quest soundtrack to this Lego piece right here, because when I see it, that's where I'm from, right? When I seen it, I didn't know. As a young kid, when this came out, I didn't really know about Keith Haring. I really didn't. Even though I was an art student, I just wasn't savvy enough for it. But I was educated through the Tribe Called Quest, because I figured, I was like, man, who did that? Who did that art? And I was able to find out who the artist was through listening to the music. So, like with arts, people got to remember, There's the fine arts like that, which you and I are in, and then there's the performing arts, which is the musical side and the theatrics, right? So hand in hand, they go together, right? And then now we're talking about a pop culture art that we grew up on, and a lot of people know. When I see the image of this, Tribe Called Quest automatically starts playing in my head.
I was thinking the same thing, man. When you said that, I was thinking the same thing, because that was pretty dope when they had the soundtracks so that you could work and listen to music at the same time.
Yes.
It's only fitting that you do that with this, man. I'm gonna say something a little controversial, man.
Mm-hmm.
Kanye West he's kind of he's out of control. He's out of control, right? But he came out with Homecoming. He came out with that Homecoming album, and the artwork, it was from this famous Japanese artist, man. And the artwork is amazing. And I'm looking at that, I'm like, man, I can see Lego. If Kanye wasn't doing his Nazi thing, man, I could have seen Lego recreating that and have the Homecoming soundtrack to it. Oh my goodness, I would have loved to put that together, listen to them joints, man. But man, Kanye, man,
he messing up the money, man. Yeah, like you messing up the money, man. Even say your name, you messing up the money, man. You messing up the money,
man. I need you to get it together, brother.
Yeah,
please.
Indeed. Brick Fair takes over Philly. What more can I say, right? This is a long time coming, right? Because my man Ty we've been trying to get in, but could not, because this venue could not sell under contract, could not sell any space to Brick Fair because of Brickfest, right? It was in the contract, couldn't do it. Even when Chad had secured all these locations for the new buyer to come in and easily, take over these facilities. And kind of glad that it broke through the ceiling, because you see how well Brick Fair Virginia does.
Yeah.
Brick Fair Philly is going to be just as big. And here's the thing with Todd. Todd had also he came close to Philly. He took it all the way out to the suburbs of Philly, around there where the expo center is, but he decided to do it in a vacant mall, right? He did it in a vacant Macy's, which it still was a good turnout. It was a good turnout, but it was kind of weird to be in a vacant Macy's a little bit, but it was weird, but it was genius, because all of the department ends of the Macy's made sense to have a display like that, because it's an open floor, right?
Yeah.
It's good for a convention. So he did his homework on that. So he still was able to, be around that area, but he couldn't get that convention. And it's good to see Todd win finally. And Todd doesn't throw any salt at nobody. So he got me. I'll throw the salt for you, Todd. But it's sad, because it's the end of an era that stood in the way of another great era. You got to think about it, right?
Right.
So, new dude comes onto the scene like Michael Jordan, but your Pistons are in your way for years, and you got to wait. Lakers are right there on the coattail. You got to wait. The dad going Boston, you got to wait. But how long are you going to wait? Because greatness is on the way.
That's right. One thing I would say, man, Brickfest Live had soured the name of a lot of places, but one thing I knew is that Philly, they always showed out in Philly. And I think they kept a good rep in Philly. I think the last one that I was at was about 2 years ago, and the turnout was wild, man. I had a great time, man. But if Brick Fair is stepping into the Philly zone, I think they can pick up where Brickfest Live had dropped the ball.
Yeah.
And I think they have the opportunity to definitely make it a rival to Brick World Chicago. Because like Brick Fan Expo in Atlanta, so Atlanta BrickCon, that is like the closest thing to a rival, so to speak. Like it was major in Atlanta this past year.
Right.
So I think Philly definitely has a chance of doing it and making it a rival brand. But here's my question, because you're close to Todd and you know him and everything like that. Is he going to reopen conversations or the doors for Lego Masters to be there for that grand opening? Or is it going to be like, hey, we got this, we don't need y'all?
I could turn the tide.
Okay.
I could talk to Todd, and
Okay.
I could turn the tide. But here's the thing: is that I need to know who's up to bat. Like I need to, like, whatever Lego Masters are interested in Brick Fair Philly, I need to know how many are up to bat, so I can take it to Tide and say, hey, look, this is who you're gonna have, and this is what they want.
Let me tell you this right now, brother. You see this little small version? I'll bring the life-size joint.
All right. Well, you know, he watches this show, so
listen, that's a local drive for me. Yeah. And I haven't brought the trophy out to any shows yet, because I'm not putting that on no plane, but I will drive. So I mean, listen, the invitation is there, man.
Yeah.
You can have a champ right there in your midst.
Right.
So,
okay.
You know, but
he listen to the show. I'm excited because there's a lot of Philadelphia supporters that support the Virginia show.
Yeah.
So now they get to have a show in their backyard. Yeah. And so, like, you know, I'm very excited for Todd and having this finally happen. Right. Like you said, it sucks that it's a downfall to one giant. But you know, you play your cards. That's the way you play your cards, man. So
hey, listen, man, giants fall every day. You saw what happened to Andre, man.
Yeah.
You know, Hogan picked him up, slammed him.
Hey, even David beat Goliath. So
that's right. All right, folks, we're gonna get into our next one. Just for giggles. You know, we like to laugh. You know, we from Jersey, right? So we like to joke, we like to poke fun, but you know, it's all in good. You know, it's all in good fun. You know, good heart, good harmony.
Yep.
We're gonna talk about the Lego House Lego Master Experience. Okay. Let me say something, man. We talked about this last time on the show. You know, that we're gonna show up in billet. You know, I'm gonna have something in my hand saying I want in on this experience, and I ain't paying no ticket. I ain't paying no cover cost. You see what I got in my hand, right? You see I got this thing in my hand. That tells you who I am.
Right,
you know what I mean? So you know what? I love the fact that we got this Lego Master Experience. I'll be honest with you. I think they're a little too late. I think they're 2-3 years too late. I think this experience should have been at the height of Lego Master. But you know, during COVID, it didn't allow creativity like that. I get it. But yo, you know what? I think this is a great opportunity for people to get that experience, but it's also kind of a punch to the gut, because you know, we've been trying to do that here in the US. We've been trying to do that at different shows, try to give people that experience, and Lego was hands off. Could you imagine if Lego came to us and be like, yo, we know you guys are doing different conventions. What if we were able to set up, like, send you guys some material, we send it to the promoters, they set up a booth, Lego Master Experience at a Lego convention. They missed the boat, man. And you know, I don't know. I can't find the laughter in this, man, because I am a little salty. But I do like the fact that we are giving the fans the experience of a lifetime. But the one thing is all the way in Billings. Can we get something like that out here in the US? That's what I want.
I think you could, because they do have a HQ out here. They have a HQ.
That's right.
You know, right out there by Boston. So I think you could have something like this. And it was a learning curve, like from season 1, where Lego was hands off, and in fact they didn't want the stigmatism after season 1 and 2 had passed, that in order to be a Lego designer you had to go through Lego Masters.
Right.
They didn't want that, right?
Right.
And I understand, because it's this prestigious institute, right? And And so, but here's the thing is that at a certain point, pandemic happens, people got nowhere to go. They tune in the first season of Lego Masters. They're loving the characters, they're loving the teams, and they get their favorites. And then when the diapers go on the face, you can go and the stores open up, they all flock to the Lego store because of the show. And you remember you were on a call. The person reached out and said, hey, look, Lego sales are booming in the US because of that show. So we want to do something for you. We're going to send you a package. And then they, with good intentions, they plan to do things with that first season, but people get promoted and their agendas, get left behind on the table because they got promoted to another thing, and we get left in the dust. That's the nature of Hollywood. Don't call me, I'll call you.
That call never comes through.
That call never comes through. And so, you got people like Corey, the Corys of the world, like out here making a name for themselves, grinding and stuff like that, to make ends meet and to be relevant in this community, to saying, hey, look, I'm Corey from Lego Masters. And they'd be like, oh yeah, I know you. But if you wasn't here, I would never know who you was.
Very true.
So it's discouraging, but at the same time, it's uplifting because I'm glad that people get this Lego Masters experience. And that Lego has finally brought the Lego Masters brand under their umbrella, because that show needs that support. In the US, that show needs Lego support. And I say that because our show isn't as big as Australia's show in their country. In their country, right?
Yeah.
In their country, they win awards every year. We haven't.
No.
And so that speaks volumes. Not to say that, like, the characters are better or anything like this, this or that, because Crystal did win the cup. So so I'm going with that. But at the same time, it's a bittersweet moment that now Lego has taken the Lego Masters brand under their umbrella, because that show does need that support. They do.
Right. Absolutely. So let's twist it up a little bit. Let's do it a little different. So, custom Lego Little Mermaid. I mean, why not? I mean, honestly, why not? Like Disney has been recreating a whole bunch of their classic cartoons and movies, and you know what? Little Mermaid had always given me the creeps. I'll be honest. Ursula, I hated Ursula. I used to have nightmares of Ursula. So, yeah, that's not a movie or a cartoon movie that I was really fond of in the 90s. But you know what? The stuff that it had, I could definitely see a Lego set, a Lego design coming to life. I mean, just the underwater world is just so full of life, so vibrant. So I could definitely see someone putting something like that together. And if it's Lego that's gonna go ahead and do it, I'm all for it. But just don't make no Ursula joint, because if you do, I'm gonna burn down every Lego store in sight. Just saying.
Lego Master Champion Corey, I need you to put your glasses on and take a look again.
Oh boy.
So if you look at this creation, and it's a mock, right? It's a custom mock. It was at a show.
Let me see this thing.
And what you have is an open book, like Corey style, right? This is an open book story. There's a ship that is going up and down, and so is Ariel. She's going up and down like she's gyrating on a stripper pole. So I know we're supposed to be G-rated, but I don't know how else to say that, right? So I think that the intent was good, but the delivery of that mock just ain't it. Like, I'm looking at it, it does not look. It looks clean, but the intent, the movement, and he has power functions on this thing. The boat is moving up, and so is the Little Mermaid moving up and down.
So to my defense, I saw still. I was looking at a still picture, and I was like, man, this looks amazing. You know, Little Mermaid. Now that I see what's going on, I don't know what Allison from season 4. This was her. This was her show. You know, she put it together. This is out in Cali. You know how, people out in Cali, they like their freedom, man. They like their freedom, man. And if you know what, if that's how we gonna do the Little Mermaid, then you know what? Who am I to stand in the way of progress, man? Who am I to stand in the way of progress, man? But you know what? Just don't bring that to the East Coast, man. Because we don't play those games out here, man. We don't play those games.
I dig it, man. I dig it. I can't fault you for that. I can't fault you at all. All right, let's head up. It's the big finish. Let's come on. Let's finish strong here. 2 minutes for the big finish.
2 minutes for the big finish.
Farewell to Michael Halbye, who passed away. He was the CEO of Lego Group.
Yeah. Sorry for in a skiing accident, I believe.
Yes.
So that's tragic, man. That's tragic. He was going skiing in the Alps. Well, not the Alps, but he was going skiing. Something that I'm sure he's done hundreds of times. Just to get away. And that's the cool thing about Lego. They allow you to get away from the bricks and enjoy life. And unfortunately, he didn't survive his accident. But thoughts and prayers go out to the family and to the Lego Group. I know they're reeling, but they're gonna pull through and continue to deliver great sets. But farewell to Mike. You will be missed.
Yes.
All right. The Lego Coral Reef Diorama. Lego's doing these dioramas nowadays, man. And this Coral Reef, this thing is looking. I like it, but it's a little too busy. A little too busy.
Rainforest pass.
Oh man.
Lego art collection. The tiger has been revealed. What are your thoughts?
I think that tiger looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I like the tiger. I don't want that in my botanicals though, man. I want my botanicals to stay flower botanicals. I don't need no tiger. Just give me something different with that tiger. I don't like that.
All right. Lego Star Wars brick built logo. I feel like we kind of had that. Like, well, it was Marvel. Is that what we're doing now?
But you need that. You need that. I like it. I'm not a big Star Wars guy, but I can see a Star Wars fan building that and putting that in the middle of the display. So I think that makes sense.
Okay.
Jango Fett Firespray. Oh, we want to just get into that?
Yeah, you go ahead.
All right. Jango Fett Firespray-Class Star Warship.
Yes.
Yes. That's a yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. K2SO security droid.
This is that droid that was on, I believe it was Andor and Rogue One. Okay. And it was a smart talking android, which was probably a very selective few that kind of get like, a little bit smart talking, right? So yeah, it's a year for me. I would do it.
Okay. The chopper droid.
Chopper droid for $100. I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence for that.
Kylo Rens Command shuttle.
I wouldn't do this one because it is a micro scale, sort of like micro scale, like the ones that they've been doing. You kind of had this one already that was almost UCS scale almost, but it was like just regular scale. You had two of them actually.
Okay. And the Jango Fett and Kylo Ren's helmet.
I would pass on the helmets. I'm just not a fan on the helmets, but I'm sure that an avid Star Wars fan would probably definitely go, especially the Jango Fett. Jango Fett is classic.
Okay. All right. If y'all noticed that I only said, and Mel is the one who answered, because like I said, I don't know much about the whole Star Wars thing. I grew up as a Star Trek fan, so all of this just says okay, more Star Wars stuff for May the 1st. Yeah.
All right. That's all we have for you.
That's it. That's all
What
we
you got going on, friend?
Man, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you in a few days, man.
Yeah.
We heading out to the Midwest, heading out to Denver, Colorado for Brick Slopes, Colorado. First show of Brick Slopes in the Colorado area. I love Colorado. I've been out there quite a few times, almost every year. I got students who live out there. I got family that live out there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to be out there. I'm only gonna be out there for a day and a half though, because when duty calls, man, I got a family emergency that I have to handle on Sunday. So I got to fly out Sunday morning. So I won't be able to spend both days. So if you're out in that area, you want to see me, you only got 24 hours to see your boy.
24 hours, baby. 24 hours. Well, I got 2 of those hours because we go do dinner and then we go do a live show. We ain't gonna do live. We'll do a recording there. Doing it
be live for us.
Yeah. Yeah,
and if you're there, it'll be live too. Because if you just pop in, we can't edit you out.
Right? You in there, right? Very true. Yeah, man. I can't wait to see you this weekend, man. I can't wait to the show, man. And it's gonna be a blast. I'm trying to limit my appearances this year because last year was a lot, but this is one of the shows I am gonna go to and have a blast with the people, man. Look. Cool. I'm going as Iceberg Bricks, friend.
Oh man.
I'm wearing my chain. I'm going as Iceberg Bricks, man.
Oh man.
If you get offended, that's on you, man.
So you just let people know off the bat. If you get offended.
Yeah, if you get offended, that's on you.
That's on you.
You woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
Wow. I'm going to be coming in as Lego Master Corey. You already know me. I'm Mr. Captain America. I'm everybody's friend. You know what I mean? So you don't got to worry about that. If you want to complain to me about Mel, I'm all ears, man. Don't let the locks fool you. I'm all ears. I'll sit and I'll listen to what he did now. Oh man, what he do this time? I don't have no control over him. He's a grown man. He do what he wants.
Right.
In fact, he's older than me, so I definitely can't tell him anything. So,
I'm gone, baby. I'm gone.
That's it.
Good, man. Good deal.
It's gonna be a good show, man. I'm looking forward to seeing some good friends, supporting Cody in the movement. And I'm hoping that everything turns out well. But I'm gonna tell you right now, man. Y'all sold me on this Brick Slopes. Y'all went out there. Y'all come back with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it was true. That was Utah. That was Utah. I can't speak for the Colorado thing.
No, I want to hear that.
That was Utah. I went to Utah twice. I even climbed the mountain.
No. Cody, y'all said Cody is king of the swag. I know Cody. He is king of the swag. I'm expecting to come out there with an empty bag. I expect when I'm leaving there that my bag is full. That I'm gonna have to check my bag in when I get on that plane. Don't let me down, Cody.
Speaking of friends, my good friend Larry, who stiffed us today. We were supposed to do live 5 minutes with Larry. He promised, and he stiffed us. But I'll see him and my other friends, Jesse and them, this weekend. Larry is the host. Larry and Nikki are the hosts of Colorado, Brick Slopes, Colorado. So awesome. They'll be working the event because this is their event. And they went in a partnership with Brick Slopes. So we're here to support you, Larry, but you're not even here.
I remember I ran into Larry last time. Man, I forget what show it was. I think it was Atlanta. And he was telling me, he was like, man, I hope you could come out, man. I'm keeping my word, man. I'm coming out for 24 hours.
I'm getting a refund.
See, you got that chain on. That's why you're being all salty, man. Being all cold right now, man. Listen, man got stuff to do, man. Listen, Larry, you're free to come on the show anytime, man. Don't listen to Mel. Then again, this is Mel's platform, so that's all I can say. He's still waving that
one shot with me. One shot.
That's it.
Good night, America.
Axe around. Good night, America. We'll do better next time.
Everything's awesome.